Good morning. Welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube, welcome everyone that's here. This little boy comes to school and says a bad word. So the teacher reprimands him and says, "You can't talk like that. Who taught you this word?" He says, "I heard it from my father." Doesn't matter, you don't even know what it means. Of course I know what it means. It means the car won't start. In the mimer that we started, which is a very fundamental mimer, it talks about a very frustrating thing, and that is that a person tries to inculcate ava and yira, love for Hashem and fear for Hashem, or awe for Hashem, but for whatever reason, either it doesn't work, or it works, but it's not lasting. And we speak a lot about in Chassidus in general, and in Torah particularly, about the importance of hisbeinanus, that when a person reflects, he contemplates, he thinks about the greatness of Hashem in various different levels, it's supposed to lead him to an emotion. Ava is a loving emotion, awe emotion, etc. And that gets the person to serve Hashem properly out of a feeling with a strong passion, enthusiasm, etc. And that's the concept of davening to a great extent. It's about bringing yourself to a certain state, it's thinking about certain things, it's internalizing certain things. But hisbeinanus, meditation, reflection, etc., brings a person to these states. Now the pasuk in our parsha says, "Leisia mishakelo va'akara," that in your land you won't have a barren, miscarrier, meaning a woman won't miscarry, or one that is barren. Miscarry would mean, God forbid, she has a child, but it doesn't, or she conceives, but she doesn't have a child. It doesn't work out for whatever reason. Miscarries, heaven forbid, or barren is that she can't even conceive in the first place. And Torah is saying that in your land you won't have this. It's a blessing. Es mispar yamecha amali, I'm going to fulfill your the days of your life. Meaning, not only will you be able to have a child, but they'll live long life, or you'll also live long life. So I've explained that in Shamayim, or in the spiritual sense, you have this thing called Eretz Shalamaylo. It's an earth, a spiritual earth. And from that earth comes all the Ava and Yira in general that a Yid has, this Chayis to serve Hashem, comes from that level of earth. Just like down here, you have earth, and from this earth comes all the produce. Now, at the same time, you have to work this land. There's some quality in the earth that will produce, but if you don't do anything, it's not going to come out. Similarly, in Shamayim, you have this idea. He gave the example that all the gold and silver and wealth and riches in the world won't help if the earth is not going to sprout forth anything. So the same concept is Hashem gives you certain things, but you have to work it. A person has to plow, has to plant, he has to reap, in order that he should be able to actually have that effect on him. And this is the way of a person. He brought various different psukim about the idea that Hashem planted the light. What's the light? That's this shine, that's this revelation. And planted means it's there, but a person has to do his part to bring it out.
This is why the shul is planning to convert the parking lot into a garden.
It would be very nice, actually. That's one of the reasons.
Where will you park?
In Shemayim.
I'd rather park here.
Okay. So then he said, and your whole purpose is not for physical, material things, but your idea is serving Hashem. We asked a general question, which is a strong question. What does it mean to serve Hashem? Hashem doesn't need anything. If you're a servant, or a human being has a slave, because he can't fulfill a certain task, I need someone to drive me over there. I can't go there myself, or I don't want to go there myself. You're going to fulfill this lack that I have. You're going to drive me there. Hashem doesn't have any lacks. He's not missing anything, right? So now you're going to do something for him. It's like, what does it mean to serve him? So we explained that there's two levels. There's a level where nothing matters. In other words, you're talking high levels. Then you have a level where Hashem decided to allow himself to come down into this world, and what we refer to as Havaya versus Elikim. The level of Elikim is a very divine energy that's interacting with nature, that's connected, and in that state, you could have an impact. Obviously, you're not changing Hashem, but in some manner, he says, in this level, it is going to have an impact or make a difference or affect him in some way. Where you see Hashem's greatness, that's where you see his humility, as we said many times. Now, what's the work that I have to do? I have to contemplate. I have to be mizbeinin. A person has to really try to take the godliness in the state of Havaya, which means it's Haya, Haiva, V'yiyah, past, present, and future. Hashem is removed, if you will, from this world, and bring it to a state of Elikim. That's what it says. V'avadetem es Hashem Elikechem, you'll serve Hashem, your God, because you'll work to the extent, or till you reach a level where Havaya becomes Elikim. The level of Havaya becomes Elikim. So the level which is removed, which is aloof, which is transcending time, will come down into a level of Elikim. That means, in other words, a person reaches a level where the part of godliness which is not revealed becomes revealed. Meaning, I feel it, it's so real to me. There's a book, it says somewhere that Hashem exists. Or I learned about it. Or the Ganev that steals, right? He davens to Hashem, that Hashem should help him. He believes in Hashem, but it's very removed. We have to be misbeinin that Hashem is so relevant and active and present that I feel it down to my physical real world. And that's, you should serve Hashem. You should work it, misbeinernos, focus, emphasis, try, till you get to that level. Okay, that's what Chassidus wants. It's not that Hashem is some kind of, we're here, he's there. The whole point is to bring godliness into this world. I should mention that the Rebbe has a mimer on this. He cried a lot during this mimer, but one of the points of there is that we're so involved in getting the job done that we don't even have time to focus. What level am I at? It's not about me. I'm a big gadol, I'm a big Talmud Chacham, I'm a big this. It's not what it's about. It's about I'm serving Hashem. At some point, you got to know where you're at, but it's only in order to be able to serve Him more. We're not on this like hierarchy state of what level could I reach and where am I going to be at, and so on and so forth. Achine, yesh eid b'chinas hakara. We finished, right? Or not?
No, we're in the middle of that paragraph, like first word on the line that we went halfway through,
B'chinas?
Asara.
Minus 8, okay. Let's go back one line. V'zeu be'emes avodah gedela. This is truly a great task. It's a big job. Sheyuchal meichei hagashmi, that his physical mind should be able to receive the litves by gila lekosei yizbarech. It's not an easy thing. We're saying, you're going to be able to grasp godliness. You're going to understand godliness to the level that it's going to be so real to you. Havaya is going to be a likim. It's hard work. It's a big task. V'hinebekan nilda v'nis'eirera midas ava v'yira v'nikra b'shem heilada. And from here has given birth and awakened the midah of ava and yira, and it's called heilada. It's called giving birth. Ki ava v'yira mechinas ben ubas, because ava and yira are the level of son and daughter. She'ava mechinas ben, which goes to zachan chazdei. Ava is the level of ben, like it says, remember your chesed. Now, what he's saying here is like this. We have this in Tanya also. Intellect are the parents, and emotions are the children. Okay, so chachma and bina. Chachma is masculine. It's the seed. It's the spark of the idea. Bina is feminine. That's what develops this idea into a concept. Okay, just like a childbirth. Out of that chachma and bina relationship, you now have, there's das in the process, but you now have children, which are ava and yira. Ava is chesed, and yira is gvura. And there's certain sukkim that express that ben, zochar, male, is the chesed connotation of this, and girl, female, is the gvura connotation of it. But the point is that they're children, because the results of your work, when you put an effort and you think and you contemplate, that's the parent, you're going to develop an emotion.
How much low on the chain do we have to go before I get to whine like a bratty child?
Yeah, it doesn't take time.
Okay, good.
Negative wives come from. Negative wives come from this. The rest
כי אבא וירא הם מבחינת בן ובס, אבא נראה בן ובס. שאבא מבחינת בן, אבא is ben, which goes to Zohar Chasdeh, like it says, remember his chesed. So the pasuk uses, when it talks about chesed, it uses the term his chesed, meaning that it's a male. The hayira bechinas bas. Yira is the level of bas. V'zeu bas tchila simen yafa lebanim. This is what it means, that if a daughter is born first, the Gemara says, it's a good indicator, it's a good sign for the boys. Practically what this means is that when there's an older girl in the house, she helps out the boys, probably more than a boy helps out the younger sisters. Okay? So the concept that people want a firstborn child and they want a bocher. At the same time, the Gemara tells us that a girl being born first is a good sign for the kids that follow.
You would know. You would know.
Well, this is a boy, but you still see the girls, they help each other out.
Yeah, both.
Baruch Hashem, yeah. They say their fathers that go around saying, listen, I don't even need simanim. I want the real thing. I don't want a siman yafal about it. I want the... you have to awaken the yira of Hashem and His fear, because this is the gateway for Hashem, as is explained elsewhere. So, bas tchila siman yafal lebana means daughter. Which one is masculine? Which one is fear? Which one is love? Fear is gvura, which is feminine. So it says when the girl comes first, meaning when yira comes first, that's a good sign to the ava that comes afterwards. So there's two children. There's ava and yira. There's ben and bas, masculine and feminine. When you have the feminine first, that's when it's a good sign for the masculine to follow afterwards. When you have yira first, as your aveda, there's a certain awe, respect, Kabbalah Sol, you're accepting the yoke and attitude that's correct, then the love for Hashem which comes afterwards is good. As opposed to when it's first Ava, then there's a bump in the road and it's not so loving anymore, God forbid. And in Chassidus we say, in Tanya especially, that Yira is a foundation. You have to start with a certain, so what I'm looking for, perspective and attitude or commitment. You first have to waken up the Yira of Hashem and His fear, because this is the gateway to Hashem. That the gateway is to have the Yira for Hashem. To clarify, as we did thousands of times, probably, that Yira is not scared, you're not afraid and like hiding under a table, but it's fear, it's awe. It's a healthy type of fear for Hashem. There's levels, right? The lowest level is Yira So'enesh, I'm afraid to be punished. I don't want to mess up. Then I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I don't want them to see me. Like, that's uncomfortable. Then there is respect or awe, and a few other levels in between. But we're talking about a healthy type of awe that a person has to have for Hashem. But when his avodah is not this way, that he doesn't have this process of I have his beinarnos. I meditate about the greatness of Hashem, how He interacts with this world, what it's all about, how in His kindness He created a world, and it's only a minuscule amount of this. Then I'll reach proper emotions. But if I don't do it this way, he just wants to grasp onto the midas of ava and yira, to love and to fear Hashem. He will not be successful in his hand. If you try the shortcut, it doesn't work. You have to go through what we easily refer to as the Chabad way. But if you want to go through the process, you have to first be misbeinen, chachma bin adas. Process, you think, you learn. That leads to healthy emotions. Just to jump into a feeling is not effective. You will never give birth, meaning produce, true love and fear for Hashem. If you're not going to go the meditation route, you'll have false illusions. You're going to think that it's like a figment of your imagination. Yeah, I have ava for Hashem, a year for Hashem. It's not what it is. It's something which doesn't have an existence, only temporarily. This is called a mishakela, a miscarrier. She gives birth, but she buries. What does that mean? Sounds very harsh, right? Want to say something?
Yeah, there was a beautiful what do they call it? My moment with the Rebbe that I used to show and they still try to do it. The Bnei Ruben Motzei Shabbos with the bring the big screen down, everybody watches, and there was a hippie guy who was he used to be a hippie and now he was doing teshuva and slowly, but he had his foot in both worlds and he came to Rebbe and he said, listen, he says, I'm really getting into davening and learning Torah and all this geschmack, Yiddishkeit, he says, but I still love to smoke marijuana, He says, I did it a lot and it was amazing and I still enjoy it and I just, I don't want to give it up, And the Rebbe says to him, he says, listen, he says, not exactly I know what you mean, but it's almost, he says, like, he says, the what happens with marijuana, he says, is that you do immediately get a sense of almost kedusha at the beginning, but it quickly goes away, quickly dissipates, and by us,
Very good.
kedusha lasts.
Yeah. So he says a person could reach it, but it's going to be fake. It's not going to last.
About reaching. Yesterday was my brother's birthday. I called him and I got news. He said, just sit down because you're going to be in shock. So what happened? He started going to shul.
Really?
He put a tefillin on every day
No way.
and he got an aliyah yesterday.
Amazing. Wow.
For the first time.
Wow.
I was just,
Where does he live?
Kiev.
Oh,
Kiev, Ukraine. Wow. Very nice. Beautiful.
He ran into some guy who just took him to shul about a month ago. So about a month. I just found out yesterday. Called him to it's your birthday. It's my birthday. Yeah, it's your Jewish birthday. It's a real one. So it turns out in the shul, when they take your passport, and they knew that was his birthday. That's why they gave him aliyah. He didn't had no idea. I explained it to him.
Wow. Okay, so if a person is not going to do his Beinonus first, then he's going to have feelings. He could get feelings, but they're not real.
At the age of 74.
Really?
He's 74.
Beautiful. That was the year it's supposed to happen.
So
I can't get over it.
when Hashem says, when the Pasuk says you won't have a miscarry or a barren, there's two things. You won't have a miscarry means that you're not going to have this fake results, which are not going to last. They're there, but they get buried. Or, nor will there be a barren one, which means you can't even conceive. Forget fake ones. He doesn't come to any type of Av and Yira for Hashem. This is what it means. You won't have a miscarry or a barren in your land. The reason why these things are Mishakela and Akara, it's because they're in your land. They don't come from the Eretz Al-Yana. When it's in your land, then it's going to be real because you're developing it. The reason why it is Mishakela is because it's your land. It's you. It's not coming from above. And if it's just from you, then it's nothing. The only way to get it from above is if you're going to cultivate that land. You're going to plow and seed and plant and so on. Then you'll get it. So in other words, what he says is like this: there is fake. There are emotions which don't last because they're not real, and there are those that don't even get to the emotions. And they both have the same reason, because they're not. It's not developed. It exists. It's like a piece of land you have could produce. If you plow it, if you water it, if you deal with it, then it could produce. Just there, it's not going to do anything for you. Potential, but not actuality. Similarly, there's an Eretz Al-Yana, there's a supernal earth, which is providing all the nourishment for the Neshamas Yisrael, higher and lower. But you got to tap into it. And only then is it real.
You gotta work the land.
Yeah.
That's why Yid is Eretz Yisrael.
Yep. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is a way to go on this mimer. Okay, so Achine, Yesh Oid Bechinas Akara. There's another type of Akara, another type of barren woman that can't conceive. Like Ein La Vlad. She child. What this means is, afilu beis vlad ein lo. She doesn't even have the capacity. I don't know if it means a womb or doesn't have the capacity to
Conceive.
Yeah, but it's not. She doesn't have the kalim to do it. She doesn't have the vessels to do it.
She's had a hysterectomy.
Doesn't contradict the fact that everybody has this spark and so just have to develop it. He doesn't have it.
Yes, and perhaps that's why he says that in determine, or on live multiple places, determine in halacha and chazal and Torah. God forbid someone that there's a male and a female. Then there is someone that's unknown, meaning it's not genderless, but it's unknown in the sense that it's tum. It's
Androgynous.
that's the double, or that's the non.
Androgynous is.
So one of them when it's closed
the word?
off.
That's hermaphrodite is both. Androgynous is, I think,
Okay, so androgynous is like this. It's tum means it's sealed over there. Technically, there's a way to find out what it is. They may find out that it's masculine, they may find out feminine, they may find out that it's both, but it's concealed. Something in the skin's covered. And the other option is that it's both. They have male and female organs. Okay. Now, this other type of this person that we're saying that can't even conceive, doesn't have a base of Allah, doesn't have a capability to do so, it's tumtumim, which means it's closed off. Closed off means that my sensitivity is locked. I'm not even open to receive anything. So there's one level of serving Hashem where I did it, but it's fake. I didn't put in the work. I'm excited, yeah, Avavira, it's nothing. It's not going to last. It's going to be buried. It's a miscarry. Or I don't conceive. I have the capability to, but I don't conceive. There's a deeper level where it's tumtum. It's locked.
Isn't he talking about in Tanya Tim Tumalev?
Exactly, that's what he's getting at. So, tumtum, I remember in school, we learned it in grade school, and kids were laughing. I remember, I forget who it was, which teacher, but anyway, he told us, you're laughing, but God forbid this is a crying matter. The body of the person is just, it's locked, you can't tell what it is.
That's what they teach us in law school. Because you look at human beings as like, objects of equations, of algorithms, duty, breach of duty, causation, damages, the formula which determines the car crash or whatever. You're not thinking, oh, there's a human who's been injured, who's been physically, emotionally injured. No, it's just an equation. It's Tim Tum Halev. They changed the name of most of the law schools to Tim Tum Halev School, I think.
In many places. Pirosh, nistam kol kach, it means like this. What does tumtum mean? Again, the inability to conceive is not just because technically something, whatever, but the makeup is not allowing for it. It's blocked. Meaning the person, back to how it applies to a yid, the person is so concealed, so nistam, she doesn't have the ability to receive, she doesn't have the vessel, because it's so sealed off to receive the pregnancy. Similar, in other words, it's not like God forbid sterile. It's just there's nowhere to go. There's a similar level in a person as well. When it comes to serving Hashem, he doesn't grasp in his mind. I'm just not open to get it. I'm so stuffed, which is another way to say sealed in Timtum. I'm so not in this zone that I don't even tell me information about Hashem. I'm not excited. It doesn't do anything for me. The reason is because he's not a kli machzik. Yidden are called a cup of Yeshuas, cup of salvation, kais Yeshuas. A cup means you're a receiver. You could get information, or spirituality, godliness, and it does something to you. But this level of barren is locked. And it's locked by result of my behavior or my passions. They're somewhere else, but they're just not. I'm not open to this. So you have a person that does it, but doesn't put in the work, so it miscarries, doesn't last. You have a person that just, for whatever reason, it's not connecting. But then you have a person that can't, even if they want to, they can't. It's not. Something's wrong. Something is off or blocked, and they have to unblock it. Now, there's different ways to get there, but this mimer and the Rebbe's mimer on this, he explains that when a person is totally immersed in materialism, it does something to you, and you don't care for spirituality. If I'm searching, I care. I didn't get there yet. I don't have it. It's frustrating, but I'm open, right? Then it could get to me. But if I'm completely, my life is about fun and enjoyment, and that my life is comfort. God is not, if it affects me, fine, I'll do daven because I need certain things. I'm not looking for connection for spirituality. After a while, that immersion and submersion really in gashmias and chumrias, like materialism and coarseness, it locks you. Sometimes you meet a person, not about spirituality, just in general, but certain things in life you want to talk to them, there's just no one home. It's completely zoned out because they're into something else.
That's why us lawyers need chassidus to counterbalance the materialism.
Not just lawyers, we all need it.
Particularly.
The Knesset Yisrael, Nikroim Keis Yeshuas. The Knesset Yisrael are called cup of salvation. Shu klei kibul, the Kabbalah Chasadim al Yenim, which is a klei kibul to receive the supernal Chasadim. The Nikras Keis Shel Bracha, it's called the Keis of Bracha. Shemikabeles Yayin HaMesameach, which it receives the wine that brings joy. Which means the above mentioned is bitterness. When are you able to receive if you're an empty vessel? If your cup is full, then you cannot receive. Yeah.
Raycon is empty.
Yeah. But if he's holding a place for himself, meaning I am important, I matter, I need, I want, etc., and he's considered himself as a yesh and a davar b'fnei atzmai. Therefore, he's involved in his own will, his desires. This is what I want. This is good for me. This I could do. This I can't do. There's many details here, but many specifics. Infinite amount, he says, of specifics. I could do this. I can't do that. I need this. I want that. That whole thing, me, takes you out of that lane of I want to receive. I want the Eibishter. I want godliness. Be empty. If you're an empty cup, the cup could receive. If you're not an empty cup, you can't receive. I was on the way home, Baruch Hashem, from Utah. So I was learning a mimer with my daughter. She had a mimer with her, or many mimer with her, that she brought for the trip. It's a mimer of the Frierdiker Rebbe, and he's talking about Kursus and other things. But he brings a story there about a chassid who was very wealthy, and as a result, a lot of people wanted to invest with him. So he had a lot of other people's money. A very charitable, good person. But things happened, and he lost all his money. And now, not only is he down and out, but he owes all the investors that gave him money, owes them money. And he came to the Alter Rebbe crying. And he said, I don't have any money for my family. I have to marry off my daughters. I don't have money. My married children, I think I had two children married, which I committed to support them for X amount of time. They could learn Torah. I can't support that. I can't keep my commitments. I owe other people money. It was devastating. Alter Rebbe went into a trance. And when he got out of it, he said, you keep saying what you need. I need this, I need that. I have to give tzedakah, I have to pay back money, I have to support this, You're not saying what Hashem needs you for. I need this, but Hashem needs you for something. And if you'll focus on what Hashem needs you for, then it'll be resolved. It's similar. I'm remembering this because Alter Rebbe is saying, if it's all about me, then I'm full. I'm stuck. There's no room for the bracha. But if I make myself a little bit empty, whether it's bittul, like Chassidus tells us, you have to have self-nullification. In this case, it's not all about myself. There's room for something else. Then I can receive godliness. That's why there's such a emphasis in Chassidus about bittul, and lack of self. You can't. Hashem, it says in Gemara, Hashem says when it comes to arrogance, that I can't live with this person in the same place. I can't. Hashem could be everywhere. There's no room. It's you're full of yourself. I can't come in. So the analogy here is the person doesn't have a base kibul. She doesn't have the ability. She can't house a child. She can't produce it. It's sealed because what's it sealed with? It's sealed with self. I need this and I need that and so on.
it's remarkable. It's like ironic. It's almost like a paradox because you learn a little Torah and you think, oh, I know something. You know, I can teach somebody, or whatever. You know, it's like
That's what the Rebbe Rashab writes. That in Kodesh Eitz Chaim, he writes it's a mimer, it's a long mimer to the Bachman of Yeshiva, and he explains that Torah could be a Sam HaChaim,
elixir
elixir
of
of
life,
life.
or elixir of death.
or of death. The same Torah, you could learn it and be corrupted. It becomes all about me, and I'm a big Torah giant. I'm looking down on other people, etc., etc. And then on worse levels than that, or it could be the biggest, the best thing.
Shivas Tamchei Tamimim, yeah.
Yeah.
Which means,
Hello?
what does that mean again?
She-
How do you translate that? The name of the yeshiva? Tamchei Tamimim?
Timchei Timim. It means I said that Timchei, those are supporting or contributing to. Timim is wholesomeness or wholeness.
Right. Yishtam.
Those that are learning in this yeshiva are tamim. They're sincere. It's complete and whole. But this is what Chassidus says, and it's about having bittul. If you subscribe that there's an Eretz Al Yena, which is producing nourishment and chayis in the person to serve Hashem, but you have to access it by planting and plowing and so on, right? Then you understand that by using that I could get to Ava and Yira. But it has to be real. If there's Ava and Yira, which is not real. It gets buried. It's there, but it's just not there. It's just fake. Dimgena is shav, false illusions, he calls it. You think you're loving Hashem, you're loving yourself. Then, or you don't even produce it. Not producing is two reasons. It could be not producing because something's just not right, or it's blocked. Well, how's it get blocked? Because I'm into something else completely. The door's closed. It's tumtum. It's not just, it's sealed. Now there's an eitzah to unseal it. You could open it, but I have to recognize that I have to at least care somewhat about godliness. It's not just about myself. We have people down with the minion because it's brought down, and it's true that it's good for earning a living. Brachas of money come from davening. Be careful about davening with a minion. It's a known concept. They're very careful about kashrus because there's a correlation between health and kashrus spiritually, right? You have people that many different things, right? Of course, it's a mitzvah. He fulfilled it 100%. He's getting rewarded for that. Everything's fine. But if you summarize the whole person, where am I at? How about me? I'm doing the right things. But when I talk about Ava and Yira, it's got to be some lack of self. What does Hashem want? And it plays out in actual life scenarios. When it's a question of my minion or help someone else out. Well, 1 second, hold on. You start to make decisions differently because your mind is, your priorities are straight. All of a sudden, your sensitivity is different. It's not about me. Like, Bittul Torah is a bad thing, right? Can't waste time from learning. But why? Is it because I'm trying to get to a certain place? Or because Hashem said so? If because Hashem said so, then I'm going to realize that in certain cases He also says, stop and teach that kid Aleph ways. Right? It's not going to get you to any level. But that's what you're here for.
Eli and I were talking this, and you brought the Pirkei Avos that one who does not daven with the minion is a bad neighbor, which speaks, I think, to this point, right? We're a bad neighbor. We don't care about one another. If it's just me alone at home.